last year, about 15 months ago, I think it was, I made a video about one high-profile individual, high-paid individual, he is, of the BBC. And I agree I was a little bit preemptive. Unprofessional, you could say. But do I have regrets? No, maybe regrets isn't the right word. Am I apologetic? No. I'm not. And I will explain in this video why I wasn't apologetic. And I still am not apologetic, and I'm not like, oh, I feel redeemed now or anything like that. No, because quite frankly, it's so disgusting what this bloke has been doing. I just... it makes me sick to the stomach. It really does. Now, some people can just brush this stuff off. I find it really difficult. No. The reason for that is because a similar situation touched our own family. Before me and my dear missus got together, but it all got brought up, and we had a lot of mental health issues, art therapy for the kids and stuff like that. It was difficult. They were difficult times, they really were. And I will explain in this video. But the individual I'm talking about is Hugh Edwards. Now, I got so much backlash to the point of, oh, sod this, I'll just delete the blinking video. I just unlisted it, basically. I said, sod it. And yes, I was preemptive. Yes, I was unprofessional. Yes, we're supposed to let it play its course, let the investigation and what have you take hold and do its thing, for which it has now. In fact, the court case is tomorrow in Westminster Court. And what this man has been doing and what he's actually been charged for now is just, it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Now, I don't know if there's any allegations of actual physical contact. We are talking about images. But still, it's disgusting. See, as a businessman, because that's what I've done all my life. I've worked in business and employed people, got the work in, paid the money out, and look at the profits. There was supply and a demand, and he is the demand. All right, the demand, you don't have the supply. Simple as that. No one's going to be making these Class A, B, and C images of children if there is no market for them. That's how I feel. So I feel that people like Hugh Edwards are a massive part of the problem. Yes, he isn't convicted yet. It's likely he will be when it comes to fruition. It starts tomorrow. But it would have got to the courts, high courts, what have you, if there wasn't a case to be heard. It just wouldn't. Now, Hugh Edwards has been accused of having 6 Category A images, 12 Category B, and 19 Category C. Now, Category A images is penetrable sex with children. And they found him just in his WhatsApp group. That's the only evidence I know of that they've got. WhatsApp images. Now, I'm sorry, but if he is involved in one WhatsApp group or exchanging images or whatever he was doing on WhatsApp, well then, quite frankly, he's doing other stuff as well. Okay, that isn't necessarily going to be in the court, is it? No. But the sentencing is so short, it's ridiculous. 6 months maximum sentence. 6 months. I know you're going to say it's just images, but it leads on to other things, and it causes, these people are talking about exploitation, these children, what have you, who have probably been coerced into a situation to do this stuff. They're probably blown prisoners. So people like Hugh Edwards are a massive part of the problem. Like I said, I will explain in a minute why I feel so deeply about this. Now, I've got a large family. I've got 6 children. My dear wife had 4 children from her previous marriage, and we've got 2 together. And I've brought all 6 children up as though they are my own. The father of the first 4 had no part really in their upbringing at all. Once, me and them just got together, then we, eventually got married and what have you. So we've been married over 30 odd years. And the things that Caroline's ex-husband was doing, it was just well, I will explain in detail within reason in this video, and I will even name him because he's convicted anyway. So do I feel a little bit redeemed? I suppose I do in a way, but like I say, the media's not supposed to talk about it at the moment anyway. I'm just some Joe Bloggs sitting in his well in the garden, talking about this. But because the court case it's going to be, not supposed to influence the court case, at least so I believe. But you see, I just feel very deeply about this. I think you should do it anyway, for a variety of different reasons. And at the time, I was actually shocked how many people who subscribe to this channel and people who actually unsubscribe because of my video. So many people, the grief I got. You can't say that, you can't do this, you can't say that. Yeah, right, okay. I'm going to say it, and I did. People unsubscribed because I did. But it was the truth. Now, I know we've got a legal system and we're supposed to abide by it and stuff like that. That's fair enough. I get that. I get that, obviously. But you see, Hugh Edwards left the BBC after 40-odd years. All right? That's 40-odd years in the BBC where people have grown up with him. They've grown up with Hugh Edwards and they thought he's a nice bloke. Lovely guy. He wore his heart on his sleeve, openly talked about his depression. Now, when he's flipping depressed, he must have been disgusted with himself. Or at least I would have hoped so. We can't use depression as an excuse, or mental health as an excuse for absolutely everything. Although we can use the fact that the 14 years of Tories have actually destroyed our ability to get any help. Hopefully they will be able to do something about that, make the pensioners pay, take away their heating allowance and stuff, those sort of things, that go down well, I'm sure. Not. Now, I did promise you I'll tell you a little bit about our life and what we had to endure. Manny, my dear wife, she lived in Fair. Now, her ex-husband, was a violent... Well, he was paedophile, convicted. All right, bear that in mind. This isn't an allegation. He's been convicted, but he pretty much got off. He got convicted, got but a very minor sentence. He didn't get a custodial sentence. Remember, this is a few years ago, but even then it was a custodial sentence. But he got off on the basis that my dear wife was having a child. So he got a suspended sentence. He got put onto a Category 1 offenders list. Okay? But he would come home drunk, spend all the money. They couldn't afford to pay the mortgage. Tiny little mortgage they had. Okay, interest rates were high at the time. So they lost the house. They made a little bit of money on the house. He spent that on drink and alcohol. Which in turn he then beat my wife, my now wife up. Was his wife at the time, my dear Caroline. You know my Caroline, you met her. Well, not physically necessarily. Well, actually, some people have. But, she's a mere-hearted soul. And that man has damaged her. She's not so bad now, but when I first met Caroline, she was so nervous, frightened. Absolutely, she didn't know me that well at that stage. If I cornered her or anything like that, just by standing near her, and she happened to be in the corner, she'd be in panic mode. If I put my hands on her shoulders or neck, not that obviously, or anywhere in that vicinity, she'd get flashbacks. Where he'd pinned her down to the ground with his hands around her flipping neck, to the point of, just fixating and passing out almost. She used to drag her around by her clothes, her stockings and what have you, and basically rape her. Now, my Caroline, she's the kindest, sweetest person. She really is. Now, this man, so I get emotional about this, but this man, he'd made her live in fear. Not just at the time, but for the rest of her life. And it's dissipated over many years, decades in fact. And even today she has her problems, where she's frightened. She's very nervous. Now, when I first met Caroline, there were some incidences. He wasn't very happy. We hadn't gone to art therapy and gone through the courts and all that sort of stuff at that stage. But the things that this man, and I'll tell you his name in a moment, this man had done and said to Caroline is just... For instance, when our oldest daughter now, which biologically is his daughter, I've brought more up as my own, he said when she grows up, I'm going to put a hole in and watch her get undressed. A hole in the wall and watch her get undressed. They're the sort of conversations, or not conversations because that'd be two-way, they're the things he would actually blurt out and tell her. Now, there's been times when he's, Matthew, he was a disabled lad, he got torsion dystonia. He'll be sitting in a high chair, because he's been a bit difficult with food, he'd hit him. A baby. Just smash him. Now that's at that point, and Caroline, there's one thing them attacking her, she actually built up the courage, partly because her sister-in-law helped her. I'm not going to say her name, but her sister-in-law helped her get the courage, because she had a similar problem, you see. Because Caroline's brothers are complete and utter. Anyway, that's another story. So anyway, she helped Caroline build up the courage. This was before we were together. To actually do something about it, and she left. And do you know what the flippin' solicitor advised her to do? Go back home. Go back home and we'll get a court order to get him out. Could you imagine the risk? The advice that she was given by the solicitor put her under. This man was violent. Now, I've witnessed it myself. Luckily, I'm strong enough to deal with it. But do what these people are like. They attack the weaker, what they consider the weakest. I would say they're the weakest. They've got no self-control. Now, this man, Caroline's ex-husband, David Holland, who lives in Norwich, I think he's still alive. Pity, I know. Used to live on in Thorpe St Andrew. I don't know where he lives now, to be fair. He did buy a house in the end once they separated. The man's a hard worker. Don't get me wrong, he's a hard worker. He's a grafter. That's no excuse for being a sex offender, child sex offender, and a beater of women. Horrible man. Now this man, before Caroline got together, before they got married, what have you, Caroline, she got bullied into it. By the parents, actually. Or by the family at the time. It's a long time ago, remember. Things were different back then. Well, he had sex with his niece. 14-year-old. The parents, they were twins. I think they were twins. They were two nieces anyway. And The parents kicked off, obviously, when they found out, and they went to court and what have you. But the parents were put under so much pressure by the rest of the family. It was quite a close-knit family. They actually withdrew. They dropped the charges. They got to that point where the charges kind of stuck. But they did. But because of the fact that Caroline was pregnant at the time with our eldest, and obviously biologically his, and that the parents, were basically they were backing off. He just got a suspended sentence. I just find this absolutely extraordinary. Now, when I met Caroline, we had so many different issues with the kids and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, all our kids are excellent. They were great, but they had problems. There was some psychological issues. Plus, we wanted to stop his access. Because currently he was allowed to have them. He was allowed to take them away on the weekends. Got to the point where he's allowed to take them on the weekends, but only with his parents about. And, and then it went on like that. Finally, after loads of art therapy, with, I think her name was Carol, this is in Norwich. Anyway, she was brilliant. And all the kids did all this art therapy and what have you, to draw pictures and, ask them how they felt about him. And it was an eye-opener. It really was an eye-opener for us as well. Some of the images were shocking. They wanted him gone. Now, luckily he got no access in the end. He lost his access. Grandma still had access, but we didn't allow it to, we said no. We stopped it because obviously there was going to be something we couldn't trust. Just couldn't trust them. It was a shocking time. Now, I was very young at the time. I was only 18 when first met Carol and what have you. Didn't think I was going to spend the rest of my life with her. And for someone my age, that's quite a lot to deal with all at once. Bring up children, 4 children, that was quite an endeavour. Let alone having the burden of having a paedophile as the ex-husband who was trying to have access to the children. So these people exist. And these people go through life without any... without question. Now that Who Edwards, is being caught out with category A, B and C images. The category A being very shocking indeed. You have to ask yourself, what else is he been up to that he hasn't been caught out with, for? Now, we always hear, don't we, in the news of different cases that have gone on now. One that's quite prevalent for us as well is, I used to help at the Sea Scouts. I'm a Class C canoeist, Class 6, canoeist. And I used to help out at the Sea Scouts. There was a guy there. His name was Julian. He also was convicted, and he was luring boys back to his caravan, and they were staying overnight at his caravan, and he was touching them. He ended up getting caught and convicted. I don't understand how the parents didn't think there was something weird going on here. I don't know. Oh, we're just staying in Julian's caravan tonight. What? Come on, there's something a bit weird there, isn't it? How could that be innocent? But this stuff is going on in the BBC, and it just seems to be one case after another. Jim will fix it. Jimmy Savile, for instance. People like that. It's just one. I just find it astounding how anybody can actually attack those who are standing up against child sex, abuse against children. Yet they'll stand there with their little placards outside a school library or a library where a trans person is reading books to kids. As though that is, it's terrible. Come on, get a life. Leave these people alone. I think they're doing a good job. I think they're doing something that needs to be done. Many of these children don't get read to by their parents, for a start. Take them to the pantomimes, wouldn't you? And get the ugly sisters. Then they're always men, you know? What's the matter? When there are more pressing issues out there and things that do matter and need to be exposed, and I hope AI can help with this and exposing these people once they get flagged, filter all their online information. Obviously with WhatsApp it's all encrypted. End-to-end encryption, so that's a bit hard. But again, it's the whole point of the platform. Why do people feel they can do this? Why do people feel that they can go through life and do the most, not just disgusting, but, it's abuse. And propagate it. Be the audience to provide the demand. So the industry, even though it shouldn't exist, it just, it feeds off it all, doesn't it? And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then the problem gets bigger and bigger and bigger. These people weren't necessarily born as paedophiles. No, this has happened over a period of time. Although, many of them got a screw loose. Oh, you can't say that. Well, they probably have, quite frankly. I think sometimes we've got to be allowed to speak. I really do. And I do believe sincerely that we've become so hypersensitive to absolutely everything and people are not allowed to say anything anymore. Even if you say some weird kind of a strange, misogynistic joke, sexist joke, like that guy who just got the sack. Okay, you should have said it, but to lose your job over it, I thought that was a little bit much. And all we're doing is we're fueling the other side with all this. We're giving them more of a reason to get angry with those of us on the left. Now, I would say I've got the woke mind virus, Elon Musk. But as far as people like who Edwards are concerned, it should bother everybody, wherever you stand politically or morally. Anyway, tell me what you think. Please leave it in the comments down below. And let me know if the audio is okay, because I'm using a different setup now. I just got a little 4K camcorder, and I love it. I think it's absolutely brilliant. But I'm using the onboard microphone with a little dead cat stuck on the top. And I'm hoping I can get away with that, so I can make it easier, instead of having all these extra bits stuck on everywhere to make videos. Let us know in the comments down below, but please beat the whole like button and let me know your point of view. Don't, write me off just like that, just because I have a point of view regarding people like Hugh Edwards. And yes, I was preemptive. Yes, maybe that was unprofessional. Maybe I should have actually waited. But you see, it's personal. And it should be personal for all of us. We have to protect our children. And the best way of protecting our children is not by, wrapping up in cotton wool necessarily, but removing the people that, quite frankly, are the danger. That's what I think. You tell me, leave it in the comments down below. But we're doing rewilding here in France, we're planting trees. And if you'll be a part of our rewilding project, there's a link down below, for which we will plant a tree on your behalf, and I will make a little sign to go with the tree, with our laser. It could be just your name, it could be a memory of a loved one, maybe somebody passed, or whatever you. Or maybe a newborn baby, or even a pet. Anything you like. Or recently, I've been asked to plant another arbor, like this. We're planting here. Obviously, they're going to grow up and up and up and up, and we'll train them right over with windows in and stuff like that, so we can still get the food. We're going to be putting another one over there, slightly smaller than this one, but I'm going to put a bench in it as well, and it's in memory of those who lost their lives in Gaza. So, I'd like to thank that individual who has made that donation, because it's very generous, and also what a fantastic thing to do. I love it. I do. Anyway, you tell me. Please leave it in the comments down below. Toodaloo.